good morning, and very good morning. How's everybody? And what's up? Well, today's video is going to be short and sweet. Yep. Usually my videos are quite long and people find it boring, so I thought, okay, let me find a topic which is going to help you guys, and it's going to be short. You often heard that term called stop or EV. So what exactly the term stop means, especially the professionals, they always, talk like increase the aperture by one stop or decrease the shutter speed by a couple of stops or change your ISO by one stop or two stop or whatever. So what is exactly that term stop? Well, it's very simple. It's very basic. It has no unit. It's just a logical term. It's like you are doubling any value or you are decreasing it by half. So whatever the value you are holding, regardless if it's ISO, aperture or shutter speed, whatever the value you are having at the moment, and you try to get the right exposure, so you can double the value of that particular entity. It could be ISO, it could be shutter speed, it could be aperture. So you double the value or you decrease by half. So that doubling the value is called one stop increment. Or if you are decreasing the value by half, you are one stop decreasing. So if you are saying that, okay, I have to open up the aperture by one stop from f5.6, so it means that you have to increase by one stop. So it means that from 5.6 you are going to f4. Or say, okay, decrease your aperture value by a couple of stops from 5.6. So what's the couple of stops that will be? That will be 5.6 to f8, then f8 to f11. So that's two stops. Same goes for shutter speed. Let's say, okay, I want to slow down my shutter speed by 3 stops from, and I'm at 1/250th of a second. So 3 stop decrease in the shutter speed. It means that I have to go in negative. So it means that from 250, I have to do 125, which is half of 250. And the same way, the half of 125th is going to be 160. So 160 is from 250, 125 to 60 shutter speed. So that two stop, I decrease the shutter speed. And let's say if I want to increase my shutter speed by 3 stop from 250th of the second. So it means that I have to go positive side. So let's say 250, one stop, the double of 250 will be 500. And from 500, the double of 500 will be 1000. And from 1000, the double of 1000 will be 2000. So as you can see, the 3 stop increment from 250 to 2000 is 3 stops. Remember, you are dealing with the final value. So it means that if I'm increasing my one stop from 250 and ending up at 500, so the next stop will be from 500, not from 250, 320, something like that. Okay, it's not increment like 400 and then 500. It's not like this. Three step by step. No, the final value you have to consider from starting from that. So 3 stop from 250 to 500, the final value will be 500. So next stop will be from 500 to 1000 of the shutter speed. And after 2 stop increment, the final value is 1000. So the next stop increment will be from 1000 to 2000. So that's how the EV works, or the stop works. Same goes for ISO. Let's say if you are at 1600 ISO and you are having noise, and you say, okay, I'm shooting landscape, I don't want any noise. Let's try to reduce the noise by 4 stops. I'm just saying randomly, 1600. So from 1600, the first stop will be 800 because I'm doing half of 1600. From 800, then I will be from 1600 to 800, that's one stop. 800 to 400, that's two stop. 800, 400 to 200, that's three stop. 200 to 100, that's four stop. So 1 to 1600 is total, you need 4 stops. So you can apply this thing to any entity. Often you heard about the camera focus system. Let's say there's the center of focus point can go up to -3 eV or -4 eV, right? Well, actually, that's where you can, let's suppose how even how that EV value works, right? You are shooting at zero exposure value, and your camera meter shows zero. It means that you are having the right exposure. It could be anything. It could be at 100 ISO, it could be at 1000 ISO, it could be at 10,000 ISO, and you are in completely manual mode. So you start decreasing the ISO. Let's suppose you are at 10,000 ISO and you are having the right exposure, but the camera autofocus system says, okay, you can shoot up to -4 EV. The center focus point can shoot up to -4 EV. -4 EV means electron volt, electron value. I can't remember its electron. So -4 EV means if you are shooting at 1000 ISO and whatever the shutter speed, whatever the aperture it is, 10,000 ISO and you want to shoot -4 EV. So 10,000, you going half, that's 5,000, 1 EV. From 5,000 to 2,500, that's 2 EV. From 2,500 to 1,250 ISO, that's 3 EV. Then you are going 640 ISO, that's 4 EV. So means that even at, instead of 10,000 ISO, if you are shooting at 640 ISO without changing the aperture, without changing the shutter speed, you can still lock the focus because the camera system tells you that. In the same way, instead of 10,000 ISO, you can shoot with, you can change the shutter speed. And imagine you are shooting at 500 shutter speed, 10,000 ISO, and still you want to lock the focus at -4 EV because of your requirement, or it could be anything. So you are decreasing the shutter speed from 500 to 250, that's one stop. From 250 to 125th of a second, that's two stop. Then from 250 to 125th of a second, you jump to 160, that's three stop. From 160th of a second, you jump to 130, that's four stop. So ultimately, you are going to have lower noise if you are shooting at auto ISO. So that was, that's simply the term stop is. You can jump from f8 to 3 stop up. You are opening up the aperture by 3 stop. So from f8 you are jumping to 5.6, that's one stop. 5.6 to f4, that's two stop. And f4 to 2.8, that's three stop. Same goes in the negative way. You are closing the aperture by 3 stop from f8. So from f8 to f11, that's one stop. From f11 to f16, that's two stop. From f16 to f22, that's three stops. So from f8, imagine you have 24-70 2.8 lens and you are shooting at f8. So you are opening up the aperture, you're going to maximum value 2.8. You are closing down the aperture, you're going to going to minimum aperture, that's f22. So from f8, 3 stop there, 3 stop there, you are having extreme value of the lens, aperture value from 2.8 to 22. So that's how you can go with aperture values. Same goes for ISO. ISO models value depend on the camera model. It could be 12. Let's say you are shooting at 12,800 ISO, which is maximum for Nikon D3S. And I found it okay, it's too much. Let's go down 4 stops. I want to shoot 4 stop less value. From 12,800, 6,400, that's one stop. 3,200, that's two stop. 1,600, that's three stop. Then 800, that's four stop. Still I want to go one more stop more. So 800 to 400, that's five stop. So in this way I can go with any value. So from 12,800 to 400, takes 5 stop. So if I'm going to go to base ISO of D3S, which is 200, so it means that I need 6 stops from 12,800 all the way to 200. That's 6 stepwise change. So the nutshell is you are doubling the any value, you are increasing it by 1 stop. You are cutting it into half the value, that's decreasing by 1 stop. In the same way, you can apply this full doubling or getting it half or reducing it by half. You can apply the same thing in 1/3 value as well. Let's suppose if you are shooting at let's say you are shooting at 100 ISO and you want to increase the value of ISO by 2/3. So from 100 to 125th, that's 1/3 of a stop. So 125th to 160, that's 2/3 of the stop. So from 160 to 200, that's one full stop. So that's how it goes. So you can apply the same for the aperture. Let's suppose you are shooting with f4, okay, and you want to decrease the aperture by 2/3. So from f4 you are going to f4.5. For 4.5 you are going to f5. That's 2/3 you are decreasing. 2/3 stop you decrease the aperture. Same goes for shutter speed. So then see, the term stop is universal. You can apply even to white balance. Let's say you are shooting at 3250 Kelvin, which I'm shooting right now. Yeah, my white balance is fixed in Kelvin, 3200, and so I want to increase by 1 stop. So I should be shooting at 6400 Kelvin. See, you can do that. Or if I want to increase the white balance by half a stop, so 3200, that's 1600 at, that's around 5000 Kelvin roughly. So I can do that as well. See, so you can apply this term universally. Maybe you can apply this thing by speeding the car. You are driving at 60 km per hour and you want to increase the car speed by 1 stop. So the double of 60, 120. So you are increasing the car speed 1 stop to 120 km per hour. So 60 km per hour to 120 km per hour, that's 1 stop. But it's too much. Drive safe, drive slow. I'm not asking you to speed up, please. Don't take my words for granted. No, 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 no. I was just elaborating the term. Stop. I don't want you to speed. Okay? Let me be very clear. So it's better to drive at -1 stop. Decrease the speed by 1 stop. If you're driving at 60, that's 30 km per hour. But it's going to be very slow for you. Yeah, it's better to drive slow. It's better to be late by 30-40 minutes instead of going to the next world 30-40 years earlier. Somebody said that, and that's very true. It's better to be late by 40 minutes instead of going to the next world 40 years early. And that's precisely true. So I hope you like this video and the term that I explained, stops. Doubling any value in a whole sum, that's increasing by 1 stop. Cutting it half, reducing it by half, that's reducing by 1 stop. That's it. Stay tuned and take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in some other video with some new topic.